And I just muted my mic. Hi there, we're live. Let me check and make sure we are live on Facebook. I'm using a new streaming service where we're going live in multiple groups at once, and it looks like it's working. So here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of our Eating with Ease and Feeling Your Best this holiday season. Let's see. Sorry, just wanted to make sure I'm on the right Instagram. Oops. Went live on the wrong Instagram. My goodness. What's up with the tech stuff? Thanks for your patience. Okay. I think we got this. All right. So who's here on Facebook? Hey there. Let me know. Say hi in the chat. I want to see your comments come through. Welcome officially to day 2 of the series. And this series is all about eating with ease and feeling your best this holiday season. I am on Facebook on this camera and then on Instagram on here. So you'll see me kind of go back and forth. What's up, Katie? What's up, Terry? Hey, Shanae. I'm so happy to be here. So we're going to be doing a couple things with you today. We are going to be, giving away my giveaway from the attendees from yesterday. The giveaway is 2 of these of like my favorite little organic energizing sprays, essential oils. I love them. I picked this winner at random. And then I'm also going to be talking about how to have holiday treats around without losing control on them. So this is for you if you go to like holiday parties or there's holiday cookies and you feel like you want to eat them all, or maybe you get a piece of that pie and you like want to eat a lot of it, or maybe you brought home cookies from the office, they're sitting around your house and you just keep being pulled to them. So you can use this obviously in the holidays, but you can also use this just in normal life because treats, indulgent stuff, it's always around. So how do we ultimately support ourselves through that so we can enjoy life and have these foods and not feel like we have to restrict them, and then also not feel like we lose control on them, right? So I'm going to announce the winner here now, because they said I would at the end of the video. So the winner for yesterday's participation is Brittany Maskowitz. She's a winner that was on through our Facebook group. So Brittany, if you're here, congratulations. Send me your address in my inbox and I will send you your holiday gift goodies. A couple other days throughout this series, I will be, picking participants at random and announcing different prizes. I'm going to do some Amazon gift cards. I'm going to do some other of my favorite goodies. So participate, and that increases your chance of winning. Terry says, I love the feminine energy you brought into that office. Thank you. My boyfriend does not love the feminine energy I brought into this office. This is actually his chair. It's a big black leather chair and it's branded with his company right here. So this is just a nice soft blankie. And then I have a hair clip behind it. So it looks like I have a white fluffy chair. Anyway, let's do this. All right. So we're going to talk about 2 parts of how to enjoy holiday treats without losing control on them. The 2 parts are the proactive thing to do, so you don't actually feel the urge to lose control on this food. And then the other part is the reactive thing to do, like what to do in the moment, tangible things to do in the moment when the cookies or the, holiday pie or the mashed potatoes leftovers or whatever is calling your name. So I actually wrote down some notes that I probably won't use, but I'm going to put them in front of me just for the heck of it. So let's see. We got the first thing we have to remember. These like overeating sessions that come from these holiday treats, they come from feeling like food is scarce. Food scarcity, we call it. This is something that we teach in our Food Freedom Forever program. The idea of food scarcity is that the food's not going to be there. The food's going to be restricted in some way. Christmas is going to pass and so-and-so's favorite recipe isn't there, or the Christmas cookies aren't there. And I want you to begin to challenge this idea that food is scarce, because depending on your life situation, it's most likely not as scarce as you're telling yourself. So, pretty soon, we're going to get into the proactive things you can do to kind of get your brain and body in a state that don't have it screaming for Christmas cookies and all the things, right? One of those things is getting your brain and body out of survival mode, which we talked about a little bit yesterday. So, when you're getting your brain and body out of survival mode, you have to really nourish yourself and show your brain that it's going to get fed. Because if you don't, your brain's going to be yelling at you to eat all the Christmas cookies and have all the cravings, right? So, a part of getting your brain out of the survival mode is feeding yourself, taking care of your needs, and eating nourishing meals, but also challenging the idea that food is scarce. The Christmas cookie is not scarce. Yes, you don't want to eat 100 of them, but like when you have food freedom, you could enjoy the Christmas cookie at your breakfast tomorrow. Like have a cookie, have your little veggie omelet, move on with your day, right? You could. Like food is not that scarce in general, right? You know, maybe 20 years ago it was a thing, but we can literally download an app on our phone and get anything from Uber Eats, anything from Postmates. I know a couple that started this massive company called Goldbelly. You could literally order croissants from Paris right now or your favorite bagel in New York City, and it would be at your doorstep either same day or tomorrow. Tomorrow, probably from Europe, you know, well, who knows with supply chain issues, but you get the point, right? You could wake up and bake cookies on January 30th and put Christmas sprinkles on them. You know, you can ask your mom for the favorite recipe and make the side dish for dinner one night. Like this food is not actually going anywhere. And maybe there are things around that you normally don't get during the holidays, but in reality, you could find a way to enjoy it another time. So it doesn't have to be like, oh my goodness, this is the only time I can have it type thing. And when you move away from restriction and you practice honoring your body and supporting your body, then, you know, you get to enjoy things like a cookie, a treat, whatever that is, without actually losing control on it. Now, we're kind of going into some of the proactive stuff to do right now. But when I say move away from restriction, I want to make it very, very clear that I do not mean free for all eating and not taking care of your body. I don't restrict my food, but I eat very healthy. I take care of myself. I love feeling good. I make choices that support me in feeling good. So releasing restriction is not, hey, I'm just going to eat cookies all day and overeat on everything and not care about my body and not care about taking care of myself. That is not releasing restriction. Releasing restriction is simply the ability to choose what is going to support you and your body best. And sometimes that might be sharing the apps at the restaurant with your friends because you, your body, your soul, your heart wants that connection. Sometimes that might be, oh man, I got to get up early tomorrow. I have a big day. I'm going to eat a little bit more nourishing and balanced meal with my friends instead of all the indulgent appetizers because I want to feel good tomorrow. Sometimes the supportive thing is, I'm going to enjoy the cookie because it's freaking Christmas and I want to have it. And sometimes the supportive thing is, man, I had a couple cookies. I feel like if I keep eating those, I'm not going to feel that good. Let me check in and see what my body actually needs, right? So releasing restriction is not about making yourself have the pizza and cookie just in the name of, oh, anti-dieting. It's literally just taking the rules off and teaching you to make choices that support and honor yourself. And as you practice this more and more over time, things like the Christmas cookies have less of a pull because you and your brain and your body know, I can have those. I could have one tomorrow. So one thing that really, really helped me with this stuff on my journey to food freedom was, I'll tell you a little story. So I worked in this medical clinic and I did some sales stuff for them. I did some health coaching stuff. And I was in the break room. I had no office. I was in the break room. And there were these buzzing fluorescent lights. It was so uncomfortable. And this was a medical clinic where sales reps and stuff brought a lot of treats. So cookies got brought in. Oh God, what else? Like pizza, snacks, just so much stuff got brought in. And I'd always bring my little healthy lunch to work and I'd say no to all the good stuff. And then I would, force myself through my cold, crappy salad in like a Tupperware container. And then I would normally stop on the way home and binge or overeat on something. I would God, what would I do? A drive-through, a convenience store, CVS snacks. I don't know. It just all the things, right? So I started looking at this pattern and I'm like, okay, anyone else do that? Anyone else ever say no to the food during the day? Like, I'm going to eat real healthy, and then it's like nighttime comes around, your cravings hit, and you just want to eat everything. That used to happen to me all the time. All the time. Okay. So the I just looked at a comment and lost my train lost my train of thought. Sorry, I'm going back and forth here. So that, okay, yes. Sorry, brain. That pattern obviously doesn't work, right? Like, we think it works. Like, today is going to be the day we eat healthy. And this kind of goes off the all or nothing stuff we talked about yesterday in our series. And if you didn't watch that, I highly, highly suggest it. So, we're I'm going to eat healthy, and then we restrict, and then boom, we eat it all. So that happens a lot with holiday stuff. Some of you may have been restricting. Some of you may be telling yourself, oh, we can't have this, we can't have that, or I'm going to go to dinner tonight, and, I'm going to not eat as much during the day or whatever that is. And then you get there and boom, it's like all hell breaks loose with the food. So we want to break this pattern, and we want, and with my little story I was telling you, one of the ways I broke this pattern was I said, okay, I didn't know anything I know now. And I'm like, this just isn't making sense. Let me see what it's like to eat a treat that someone comes in from the break room. And my rule was that I couldn't sneak it. I had to eat it. Like, I had to show people I was eating it, in the sense of like, walk out, grab the treat in front of people. I didn't have to be like, hey, I'm eating this. But for me, I used to kind of closet eat and like sneak my food, sneak like the binge food stuff. So I basically would just be a normal eater, and I would grab my treat and I would eat my little cookie, or, I'd eat a piece of pizza and my salad that I brought or whatever that was. And then I would go on with my day, and I would work through my guilt and remind myself that it's okay. It's just one meal. And before you know it, after a few days of this, I started having less cravings. And after a few more days, I started actually not always wanting the treats. Like before, when they brought the treats in and I told myself I could have it, I was like, woohoo, I'm eating treats every day. I'm gonna have a cookie a day. This is awesome. And then as time went on, that cookie a day started losing a little pull. And this was the first time that I didn't know about survival mode and all the things that I'm teaching you all here and have taught our students, right? But this is the first time that I realized, okay, this stuff actually works. Like, feeding yourself and taking care of yourself works. Later on, as I study and start mastering this world of binge eating, I learn that, as you're doing this, you're actually showing your brain that food is coming. You're showing your brain that food is not a scarce resource. You're showing your brain that it can have food. And then your brain doesn't yell at you to eat it because it doesn't feel like it needs it. What happens when we restrict food is our brains are wired for survival. So our brains are wired for like the tribal days when we're living in a hut in the woods and we need to go out and hunt and get food. And we need that innate survival thing inside of us to go get it, right? Our brains are not wired to have Uber Eats and Postmates and everything in the fridge and all the things at all times, right? So you wanting food, this is not a willpower problem. This does not mean that anything's wrong with you. This doesn't mean that you're broken. This doesn't mean that you don't have self-control. It literally just means that your body's doing what it needs to do, and your body's telling you to eat. And when you tell your brain and body, oh no, we're not going to eat, we can't have that, we can't go have this thing, your brain and body might ride with you for a couple of days, but then they're going to be like, hello, our needs aren't getting met. You know what we're going to do to you, Cindy? We're going to make you think about food all day at the Christmas party. Or, Terry, we're going to have you, when the kids get down and the house gets quiet, get this crazy urge, and we're not going to let you shake it until you go eat. That's what happens, right? The brain doesn't say, hello, I'm in survival mode and this isn't your fault and you just need to take care of me. The brain sends you wild signals to go eat. And when I was binging and when I was struggling, I did things even out of character to get food. Like, I felt like a food addict. I ran into my old roommate the other day, and he used to make fun of me because I used to always eat his bread. And like, I would legit steal this guy's bread. And I think I replaced it, hopefully. Sorry if I didn't, Nick. But we were joking about it because, what would happen is I wouldn't eat carbs. And then at night would come around and I'd get so hungry and I'd like toast myself some bread. And I'm laughing about it now, but like, this version of me would not be sneaking bread from someone else's bread stash and then not telling them and then like secretly replacing it. This version of me would like enjoy a sandwich and be like, yo, I'll buy the bread next time, right? Like it would be a very easy thing. But when I was restricting and when I was in this world, like I like it didn't feel like the real me. And so a lot of people say they're food addicts or they're sugar addicts. Like, how do I kick the sugar addiction? How do I kick the food addiction or whatever that is? And can certain food pull you to it more when you have it? Of course. But I really believe that so much of this comes from we're restricting, we're not taking care of our needs. So, my little story points us to, if you notice, I let myself have a more indulgent thing during a time of the day where I was more empowered, right? So, my binge and overeating time tended to be alone at night. It could happen earlier in the day, but that was like my time. Who here, like, who's got different triggers that it's kind of like a repetitive thing? Like, for example, when you're alone or when you're bored or when you're overwhelmed or, when you're sad or you're lonely or whatever that might be. Do you have kind of your things that kick it off? We have someone that commented stealing the kids' treats. We have some that commented, having a bite of things kind of kicks it off, right? Yes, got it. So when we're experimenting with, bored from Felicia, got it. So when we're experimenting with trying to, what's the word? Like put different things in our regimen or not our regimen, our diet that we haven't before, right? It's a great time to do that at the time of the day that feels a little more safe. So for me, bringing the Christmas cookies out at night when I was struggling wasn't really the safest time. But during the day when I was at the office, having something like that was safe. I would have one or two. I could, I would feel like I wouldn't necessarily feel like I was going to lose control on them as much and things like that. So if you're going to try this, try it at a time where you feel more in your power. So if you're in one of those modes where you're like, I gotta have everything, that's probably not a time to try this. That's a time to use some of the tools from yesterday. Slow down, connect to your body, ask yourself what you need, see if you actually need food, see if you like, what's going on, all of that, right? Now, another thing is, let's say that you're at a public event, right? It's a Christmas party, it's a family gathering. You want to enjoy the food. You don't want to lose control on it. So do a couple things. Remind yourself that food is not scarce, right? You can order this. You could make it another time. You could take leftovers. You could heat up some of the stuff for breakfast. Like there's so many things that you could do with it. So it's not scarce. Remind yourself that you're allowed to have it and give yourself permission to enjoy it. And as you do, keep checking in with your body and your brain. Check in and ask yourself, how am I feeling? Do I need more? Knowing that I could wake up and have this tomorrow or have this for leftovers tonight or have a cookie anytime or get Christmas cookies or cook them or make them after Christmas. Do I feel like I actually need this? Or is this just coming from that place of I usually don't have it and I feel like I got to have it now? What do I actually need? And sometimes you need and want the thing, right? And sometimes you don't. Sometimes that second, that third helping, that fourth Christmas cookie, sometimes that's coming from habit. Sometimes that's coming from you emotionally numbing. We're going to talk about that more in the series. Sometimes that's coming from you've been restricting, you haven't been taking care of your needs. So ask these questions, right? What do I really want? What's going to support me? Do I really want more, or is this just a habit? Do I really want more, or am I just telling myself that this is the last time I can have it because I'm going to be healthy and on track tomorrow, right? You want to bring these choices to the present moment. And these present moment choices that support you are really at the root of food freedom. Another piece that's at the root of food freedom is getting and keeping your brain out of survival mode. And that is a proactive thing. So we talked about that yesterday, right? Nourishing meals throughout the day, taking care of your needs. Krista said she gets some cravings in the late afternoon when she's hungry. Cool. So what can we do at lunch to make that lunch more satisfying? Is your lunch tend to be maybe a little frazzled where there's a lot going on? Can you bring more presence to that lunch? Can you increase breakfast and bring more presence to that? Could you do an afternoon snack that's not just a light snack, but like something really, really satiating? So it really fills you and satisfies that afternoon craving, right? These are all questions that we support students with through our programs, and all questions that I encourage you to really, really ask yourself and use through the holidays and beyond. So now I want to move into Q&A. I'll kind of trickle some other things in that I wanted to talk about as we answer questions. So anyone have questions, you can literally ask me anything: food, life, emotions, body image. We haven't talked about body image that much, but we will. In this series, because I know body stuff can be really triggering when you haven't seen people in a while, and you've you might be insecure about your body or whatever that is, or like trying on the dresses for the parties, like all the things, right? So we're going to talk about body image in this series too. Krista says CD crackers, but hummus gummies. You mean hummus? Gummies sound good too. Hummus. I am a cracker, hummus, carrot, I love those sugar snap pea things too. Junkie. That's like my afternoon snack all the time. So let me check and see if there's any questions. Okay. So this new streaming platform, I can't tell who chats unless I hover over their name. Oh no. So let me try the. Sorry that I'm sideways over here. I can see everyone. But I'm okay. I can see some of you. Thank you for saying this. You're welcome. Okay, we got a lot of people who restricted and have eaten later on. Wow, Brittany, I've been working. I haven't had the time yet to sit and listen, but so great to see your face. Good to see you too. Christina says, love you, girl. I'm so grateful that I took your courses. Thank you so much for your vulnerability. I used to be able to relate to all the above. Christina, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy you've come so far. Like, I'm just beyond excited for you and how far you come. I love seeing your little updates and you and your family. It's incredible. And I think that's one thing, to kind of go into this a little. We talk so much about food. We talk so much about body. We talk about all these things, but really, like, when I talk about food freedom and food freedom forever, it is about so much more than food. It is about what you get to do with your life when this stuff isn't holding you back. It's about what you get to do, in the world. It's about how you get to show up. It's about, Christmas parties and holiday gatherings and Hanukkah celebrations and family get-togethers and friend get-togethers or solo get-togethers where you're just taking care of you and being able to enjoy them and not be in a food hangover, or not be stressing about the mashed potatoes you had a few extra bites of, or not be worried about the Christmas cookie, or, your little like side roll that's getting pinched in your sparkly holiday pants, or your comfy Christmas jammies, or whatever they are, right? Food freedom is getting to live your life without food being the focus. But I'm not a big believer on food as only fuel. I think food is a beautiful part of our life. We use it in celebration. We use it to show love. We use it to connect. A lot of people vilify that. I don't. Like, I want to enjoy my life with food, but I don't want food to be the majority, and I don't want food to be my source of fulfillment. I want it to be a nourishing part of my life that takes care of me, that I get to enjoy, and then I get to move on with. And so this is what food freedom is. So if anyone wants like a ton of resources right now, we do still have our Food Freedom Collection for sale. It's foodfreedomcollection.com. It's $129, I believe. It's thousands of dollars, not exaggerating, of our signature programs in a beautiful little bundle. I'm going to actually take it offline soon. And we're going to separate the courses out, and they're going to be bigger investments. So if anyone does want literally a plethora of resources, it's foodfreedomcollection.com if you do want that. And basically, it takes our signature programs, like our Beating Binge Eating Blueprint program that's helped over 1,500 women, our Overcome Overeating Challenge. I led the same weekly call every week for 6 years. And those calls are all recorded in a vault, categorized for you to get answers. Legit anything you could need to feel in your power with food and feel connected to and supported by your body and feel confident in your skin is in that bundle. So I'll have that up for the next couple of days. And then I got another thing brewing for you guys. I think I might come out of coaching retirement for it. But I hope this live was supportive. If anyone has any questions, I'm checking the comments now. I have like 5 screens going on in front of me, so I have to lean around all my lighting contraptions to to see questions and so forth. So give me a sec. What do we got? What is your opinion on Omad for weight loss? Girl. Okay, Omad for weight loss. Omad, for those of you who don't know, is 1 meal a day diet. All right. So I have supported a ton of people come off of fasting and dieting. I know fasting has a ton of scientific evidence for it. If someone's completely free and doesn't struggle with disordered eating in any way, I support fasting. But for most women, the fasting is not good for your hormones, is not good for your thyroid and adrenals, will increase the stress response in your body and will increase cravings. So my opinion for someone that struggles with binge eating, I feel like the 1 meal a day diet, or which is OMAD, or intermittent fasting, honestly can just be like a permissed binge. It doesn't actually heal what's happening. It just says, ooh, I can satisfy that urge to eat a lot. I can satisfy that urge to just have a huge meal and eat 1,500, 2,000 calories in a sitting, but not actually heal what's going on that is causing me to want to do that. And then the crazy thing about OMAD and fasting is it puts your body into survival mode. So that mode that I was talking about. So survival mode is basically when your brain perceives food as a scarce resource and doesn't think it's going to get enough food, or like a scarcity's coming, right? So you and I know that if you cut carbs for today, food is not a scarce resource. You can have them tomorrow. Your brain is wired for survival. If you cut carbs all week, your brain does not know that carbs are coming. Your brain goes, oh, wow, like we're not getting the fuel that we need. If you are doing 1 meal a day, your brain doesn't know that you're going to feed it again necessarily. It's like, why are we going 20 hours without eating? Why are we going 25 hours, 24 hours without eating? Why is this happening? I'm going to make her think about food more. I'm going to make her have more cravings. When a brain is in survival mode, and you can tell me if you have any of these signs, thinking about food a lot, increased cravings that feel hard to say no to and out of control, like the urges are intense. They're not just like, oh, chocolate sounds good. That's a normal craving. They're like, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Where's the chocolate? Is there chocolate in the cabinets? Am I going to get chocolate? Should I go home on the way from work and stop at the store and get it? They start to get a little bit more compulsive. My brain just stopped working. Hold on. What else shows that a brain is in survival mode? Thinking about food. Oh, you don't feel full and satisfied. So if you have that phenomenon happening where you can kind of eat and eat and eat without getting full, without getting satisfied, if that phenomenon is going down, then that is a sign that your brain is not letting you get as satisfied, so you eat more, right? Also, you'll be when you're in survival mode, you're very predisposed to overeating. So there's this constant feeling to overeat. There's this constant feeling of emptiness or wanting more. There is a high susceptibility to emotional eating. It's like emotion happens, boom, you're going to the cabinets. You got to remember your brain is on high alert to get you to eat. And in my opinion, OMAD and IF, intermittent fasting, put you in that state more. Highly against it. But I'm also against you coming off it aggressively. So if you've been doing this, I don't think you should just jump to eating all day long. I think that what you can do is you can split that meal in 2, right? And start with 2 meals. Get going a little more, start with 3. And I like our clients having 3 to 4 meals a day, eating every 3 to 4 hours and eating very satisfied, nourished, balanced meals with all the macronutrients. Don't cut your carbs, ladies and gentlemen, so you can feel really supported throughout the day. So I hope that helped. What else do we got here? Any tips on staying mindful while home for the holidays, not to fall into automatic patterns? Yes. So we're actually, I don't know what day of this series. I'm going to have a whole dedicated day on, I think it's like in between day 4 and 6, on how to take care of yourself, how to support yourself, how to eat. When you are out of your routine. It might even be tomorrow. God, I don't know where I can look in a way that's not going to mess up my setup. I know tomorrow's supporting with self-care practices through stress and overwhelm. And then early next week, it'll be like when you're off your routine, what to do with food and with self-care. So, but just some quick tips, Krista. Anything that keeps you in your power, right? So think back even to those days where, you were just learning all this stuff, right? Was there a breathing technique? Is there a walk? Is there a laying on the ground? My students know that I'm like a big ground layer. Like anytime, like when I'm overwhelmed, I'm like, lay on the floor and breathe. It's very grounding for me. I don't know. You can always just find me basically on the floor. I eat with my cat on the floor sometimes, just kind of a weirdo. But anyway, helps me feel relaxed. Chilling with my cat helps me feel relaxed, actually, and petting her. Just what kind of puts you in that relaxed, centered state. And then doing that, and ideally doing that at the beginning of the day, even if it's just in the morning before you leave the room or the shower, like whenever you have those moments for yourself, take them. Is it after being with your family, walking into the bedroom you're staying in or the bathroom and doing a few deep breathing techniques? Is it like going and stretching outside for a few minutes? So for me, when I go home, I'm very close with my family, but they always have a lot of TVs on that have the news on. So I'm just hearing, or like talk shows and stuff, which is fine. Like, that's great. That's what they enjoy. Cool. But for me, I'm not used to it. I don't have the TV on at all. I'll sometimes watch shows, but that's it. I'm not like a TV on, noise on around the house person. And so for me, that can feel a little overwhelming, especially if the news is heavy, which it is with like vaccine madness and just all the things going on, right? So for me, you know, doing that all day, it gets overwhelming. And when your nervous system is overwhelmed, you're very likely to numb or self-sabotage, with social media, with going out and drinking one night with your friends, with overeating or whatever that is. So for me now, I'll be in the house and then I just might need 5 minutes and I'll go outside. I'll throw, the little ball with the dog, or I'll stretch, or I'll go for a walk with my mom, or I'll have headphones. I put my headphones in. I have an app on my phone. I forget what I use. There's like a brainwave app, there's Calm, and there's this Breathe app, or just a good playlist on Spotify. I'll chill, breathe, nothing crazy with my breathing techniques, just an inhale and a longer exhale. If you inhale through the nose and exhale longer than you inhale, and do that like 10 times, it calms, it activates the vagal nerve, which is relaxes your body. And so things like that, just to bring me back to my center, and then I go back out. And so I'm very big on keeping my body and my nervous system and myself regulated so I can be the best version of me. I don't do it well all the time, but I try. So I hope that helps. Mandy says, thank you so much. This is such a blessing for me and encouragement for the holidays and not feeling lost. You're welcome, Mandy. I think I just locked my phone. You're welcome, Mandy. I'm so glad that this is helping you. All right. What else do we got? Food freedom programs help me so much. It's worth every penny. I recommend it to anyone who's struggling with the binge eating or overeating. It can change your life. Thank you, Brittany, for the help you've given me. Your positivity radiates through all that you do. Oh, thank you so much for that. I really, really, really appreciate you. That makes me happy that you feel that way. I'm not always positive. I was so snappy at my boyfriend yesterday. Sorry, babe. But everyone has their human moments, right? And I think that's so normal, but it's about, what you do, how you support yourself through them. For example, yesterday, it was my first day with like hours of calls and things in a long time. And then I had all these things to do. And before I transitioned out of coaching and had more of a team with the company, a lot of these things my team could handle and we could kind of work on them together. And then I was like, I had all these ideas. I'm like, oh shit, I got to be the one that implements all these. This is a lot to handle. And I do have some support, which is amazing, but the team isn't as big as it was before, right? So I was in this kind of crossroads. I was like, I need to get outside. I'm so tense. Blah. And then I'm like, but I haven't sweat in a few days. I'm going to go I need to go do a hard cardio. And then I'm like, I don't have time for any of this. I'm going to work. I just need to work. Blah. Okay. Then I was like, all right, let's try practicing what we preach here. And, and this is a very natural conversation for me. I'm human. I get all the ideas, and the negative self-talk does come up still, just happens, right? But then I'm like, what do I actually need? if I drop the stories about needing to sweat and I drop the stories about all the work and I just check in with what's actually going to help me feel the best so I can handle these things, so I could work out tomorrow and feel good, so I can get some sleep tonight, so I can be great for my family and all these things. The answer to that was actually go for the walk. So even though I had all the chatter of how I shouldn't, I went for the walk. I got a little decaf coffee, literally just 20 minutes. I stretched in the grass and I came home and I felt like a different person. And so I just encourage you, when you're out and about in the family chaos, to take those moments, right? Because those moments are important. And if you don't have 20 minutes, take two, you know? Okay, we have another Facebook user that says, I have some health issues that can be helped and changed by the way I eat. Yes, this is so good. We have a day dedicated to this in this series. But I'm struggling in knowing how not to view it as restrictions, because that's what it feels like when I start trying to change and eat better. Awesome question. Okay, so I have a bunch of, I'm going to say I had a bunch of health conditions. I still got some stuff going on, but I have decreased my thyroid medicine by 75% naturally. Yay. I have completely reversed. I get a little like choked up thinking about it because it was such a painful part of my life. Stage 4, almost failure of my adrenals. Still working on some hormone stuff. Yesterday I was at war with my uterus. It's feeling better today. So I know what it's like to have these two worlds that are yelling at you. You have this world of wanting food freedom and not wanting to restrict, but then you have this world of, my God, when I eat certain things like gluten or dairy or inflammatory foods, my body feels like shit and I need to heal. And what do I do? So for years, I tried the very strict, rigid, like 90-day leaky gut protocols, the SIBO diet, all these things. And to be honest, they probably would have been very great to my body, but I had to get real with myself. And once I was real with myself, I realized that those things were making me binge more and those things were making me overeat more. And the overeating was so much more detrimental for my autoimmune, for my organs, for my inflammation in my body than just having some things here and there. So for me, I eat very clean. I eat food that's made up of great ingredients. I eat mostly anti-inflammatory, and I also live my life and enjoy things. So you just got to be real with yourself, because there's a time and place for everything on your food freedom journey. You have to be real with yourself and say, by doing these diets that are said they're going to heal, that are dedicated towards healing my body, am I binging and overeating on more inflammatory foods? And if I am, then I have to take a step back. I can get there one day, but right now I have to get to a place where I'm out of survival mode and taking care of my needs so I can take care of my body, get this inflammation down, and heal my body. So for me, that looked like, instead of a conversation of I don't eat gluten, I'm gluten-free, and then going and binging on gluten 3 days later when I haven't had any bread all week, right? The conversation was, gluten doesn't leave me feeling that good. When it's really important to me, I'll have it. Other than that, I'm just going to eat what makes me feel good, right? So if I was out with friends, I would feel stressed, like being like, oh, does that sauce have gluten in it? Is there gluten in this thing? Oh, I don't want the appetizer you guys are having. So when I was out and about, that was a time where I would typically, have some more. If I couldn't find a staple for my favorite thing and I had a real desire for it, I would enjoy it. And it was this balance that still looked like really eating in accordance with what was healing my body 95% of the time, right? So, but it wasn't from this restrictive place of this strict plan. And then I've gotten to a place where years into my food freedom, I've been able to do those protocols. Right now, I'm going through this deep cellular detox, and I still am not fully 100% clean like the diet's recommending. But I mostly am, and it feels really easy, and sometimes I enjoy some things. And at a different stage of the detox, I'll probably do all the way with it when we get to the gut cleansing part. But that's besides the point. I can do that now because I'm not struggling with food. And if I was doing that and I noticed cravings and compulsions and all those things, I would pull back from it still to this day, because I am a firm believer and you have to listen to your body and take care of yourself. So I hope that helps. So my short answer is time and place for everything. You got to get real with yourself on what would actually work for you right now. And if what you're doing is causing more overeating, stop doing it. Okay. What about doing 16 hours of fasting and 3 small meals in 8 hours? Totally your call. If you feel good doing that, if you don't have crazy cravings, if you feel energized, if your hormones are in balance, if you wake up feeling good, not sluggish, if your skin is good, if you aren't having inflammation in your body, if your mood is good, if you're not crashing, if you feel supported, do it. If you feel low energy, if you feel intense cravings, if you feel like you are fighting urges to binge, if you feel like you're waking up in the morning super, super depleted, and my chopstick is not doing good on my lips. Sorry. If you're waking up super depleted, all these things, then don't do it. That is your body literally screaming at you that, yo, this thing doesn't work for me. So let's not fight the body. I am big on working with the body instead of against it. If something works with your body that goes against what I say, listen to your body over me, but do not force your body in a box just because so-and-so and wrote a book on it and says the benefits are good. Your body's going to let you know what works for it. And a big part of food freedom is figuring that out and working with that. Okay, we got some other health conditions here too. Totally get it. I think I missed a question. Hold on, let's see. Oh, got it. Any tips for someone who's always experiencing extreme hunger? I've started the intuitive listening and trying listening to my body, but I always feel the need to shove food in my mouth. Zero control. Great question. Sorry you're experiencing that. I know it's tough. And this is a big thing. So we use intuitive eating as a tool in some cases, but it's not like our end all be all practice. What I see with intuitive eating is they're not always addressing the part that you're talking about, the survival mode that you're talking about in a way that feels safe. And then you're just trying to listen to your body, but your body's legit yelling at you to have like pizza and all the things all the time. And we don't want that, right? So, phase 1. So I would say listening to your body is like phase 2 of the journey. And it sounds like you just kind of jumped phase 1 and went into phase 2. But I feel like IE misses a foundational part. And that foundational part is getting your brain out of survival mode in a way that feels a little structured so you don't feel this ravenous hunger all the time. So for our students in the first week of our program, one thing we focus on is we're not like, listen to your body, stop when you're full. I mean, we kind of are, but like your body, you might never be full for the first few weeks of this stuff because your body has been in survival mode for so long. The longer you've dieted, the longer you've dealt with this stuff, the more in survival mode, more cravings and stuff you're going to have, right? So the first part of the process is really like having those more structured meals in so your brain and body trust that they're going to get fed. So instead of like, I'm just going to listen, I'm just going to have breakfast. When I'm hungry again, I'm going to do this. What works really well for our clients is meals spaced 3 to 4 hours apart. Typically looks like 4 meals a day, changes. And those meals are very, very balanced. They got some carbs, they got some fat, they got some protein, they got some veggies. They're not these mini meals, but they're not these massive meals. And you're looking for meals that leave you satisfied for 3 to 4 hours. That kind of check off the box of I am satisfied, I am moving on. So someone like, I don't know your name, sorry, KRB484 on Instagram. For you, I would not jump you into listening to your body. I would not jump you into trying to release restriction with like eating Christmas cookies and all that, which you could totally have a Christmas cookie. I'm not saying that. If I was working with you right now, I would focus more on getting your survival needs met, like getting your needs met and helping you find meals that leave you feel so satisfied, like that warm belly, I'm good and I'm good to go into my day. And when you feel like that, once you feel like that, then you can maybe, have that Christmas cookie with it or whatever that is, right? But just telling you, listen to your body, go have some cookies and stop when you're full. You're probably going to eat all of them. So that's where I would start. And those urges to keep eating and that hunger will be satisfied over time might look a little bit messy in the beginning. That's normal. That's why I always highly suggest working with someone or having someone you can bounce things off of that really, really gets this world. The advice I do not like that's out there from coaches is just keep eating and the urges will go away. I don't think that's true. In some cases it is, and in some cases it balances out, but you've got to make sure you're meeting your body's needs. You have to also go to phase 2.1. Phase 2 is for us is listening to your body, but also breaking those patterns in the brain that are driving the binge behavior. So some of this might just be habitual patterns. Some of this might be emotional patterns, right? So we got to look there too. We can't just focus on the food and like listening to our body only. There's patterns and there's ways of relating to food and there's ways of eating and there's habits that we have and ways of thinking that we have that cause this stuff too. So meals are a great place to start, but then you got to do the deeper stuff as well. So I hope this helps. Awesome. Okay. I'm going to try to move this so I can see these comments a little bit more. I got so stuck on the idea of being a food addict and the need to abstain from sugar and flour, but I never felt that I was empowered or the way I wanted to live. I love going through BBEB for that reason. Yay. Yeah. Here's the thing. Do we want to be eating flour and sugar all day long? No, we don't. But when we feel like we're an addict and we abstain, it kind of puts the flour and sugar on this pedestal, and then we get it and we're like, oh my God, I just can't stop eating it, right? So I love that was a shift for you, and a lot of people when they see our work or hear about, releasing restriction and not dieting and all the things, a lot of people might think, cool, you just are going to all of a sudden be eating sugar and flour all the time. And that's just not true. It's literally just giving you permission to take care of yourself without having to eat in a timed window or, without having to count and track and all this stuff. Okay. I hope this helped, ladies. Thank you. You're a lifesaver. Oh, you're so welcome. Awesome. Well, day 2 of our holiday series is complete. I will be giving some more giveaways throughout this series. So all you got to do to qualify for the giveaways is show up live. I'm picking people who comments on our stuff as winners by random. I'm literally just taking my finger like this on the commenters and closing my eyes and just picking one. I'm doing that on Facebook and IG. And then I'm picking a winner out of those two also randomly. Krista says, I agree. The BBB program gave me my power back. And after going through eating disorder therapy since I was 15, this is the only thing that worked for me. Oh, Krista, that makes me so happy that you're experiencing this. That just makes me, I'm so proud of you. I really am. I know what it's like to be like in the trenches with this stuff and not getting results. And I'm so happy you committed. You're such a dedicated student, and it's cool just to see how far you've come. And Terry says, one of our other Food Freedom Forever and BBEB OG, she says, love the reminder food is not scarce. Yes, that's a big one. It's not, it's not scarce. It's here. Love you too, Krista. Okay, last question. And then I'll answer more questions tomorrow. Oh, actually, this question should be answered tomorrow. I'll do it briefly here, but definitely come on tomorrow at 10 a.m. when I go live. I'm going live every day, every weekday until January 3rd. How can you motivate yourself again? I haven't been to the gym since March of 2020. My kids were on Zoom all year long, and now they're back in school, but no motivation. Got it. So I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, so I almost don't want to do the spoiler, but I'll do it. There's only a few of you on here. Okay. One of the big things of procrastination and around motivation is the feeling like we're so far away from where we want to be that we have this huge mountain to climb, right? This huge mountain. And so I'm going to start, for example, working out again. You tell me what feels easier. I'm going to start working out again. I need to book some classes. I need to get on a schedule. I need to hit the weights twice a week. I need to do my spin class. I need to make sure I'm getting cardio in. I'm really sore and achy. I got to get my stretches in. Like, what the hell? Oh my God. Okay, that's a lot. Or I haven't moved in a while, and so I'm probably not going to feel like moving, but I'm going to commit to a couple walks a week for now and see where that takes me, right? Or I'm going to commit to a walk today. I just have to get outside for 10 minutes today. That is my commitment. I don't know where you live. It might be freezing. So the my brain just stopped. Sorry. It's so hard to read all the comments. I love them and then I get distracted by them. So yeah, my first tip, and then we'll talk about more self-care tips tomorrow. Oh, you're in Chicago. Okay, walking outside might be a little miserable right now, so we can't do that. So I would say just starting with a little movement and just committing to like, I'm doing 10 minutes today. So for example, I never think, oh, I want to stretch. But when I lay out my mat, put on some good music, and just start kind of moving, I end up stretching longer than I think I would. And it's not these like calculated stretches all the time. It's flowy. I move my body. Just start there. And I wouldn't worry about, oh, I have to find the motivation to do it. I would accept that right now you're probably not going to have the motivation. We humans are repetitive little machines. We do what we've been doing until we change it. 95% of what we thought yesterday, we think today. 95% of the habits we did yesterday, we do today. For over a year, you have dealt with the wildest, craziest thing that you probably have in your life, which is a national shutdown, children being homeschooled, life being chaotic, fear of going outside, like so many things happening. So I think we all just really need to be gentle on ourselves for like all things 2020 and 2021. And I think we need to accept that we may have developed some funky coping strategies, some interesting patterns, some different ways of living our lives that don't necessarily support this pray to God new reality of some more freedom and normalcy that we're stepping into, right? And so when this comes up, don't beat yourself up. You're normal. You're feeling the same way you felt. You're feeling a little overwhelmed from the crazy year or two. It's the holidays. You're normal. Like this is all normal. Very, very normal to not want to do anything if you haven't been moving and doing things in so long. So my question is, what's the smallest doable thing I can do to move myself towards this thing that I really want to do, right? I'm not going to do 5 workouts a week right now, but I can go roll around on the floor and stretch. So I'm going to start there. And what's really cool about working out is after about 2 weeks of tiptoeing in this movement, you start craving it again. If you were a mover, if you were a workouter, if your body loves movement, but you got to get the motion going, right? So I'm going to stop there because I'm going to teach all about this stuff tomorrow for self-care. I have been on this huge self-care journey. That was part of the reason that I pulled back from coaching about 6-7 months ago, is because the way I was running the company, even though it was fulfilling, helping so many amazing people, some of you are on here, the way I was running the company and the way the organization was structured, combined with really needing to finish healing some of my past health conditions, it was a lot on my body. And I was getting into some funky behavior with not taking care of myself. And I was taking care of myself a lot more this last 2 years, but I just, my body was not doing well with all the stress. And so I have been on this last 2 years, especially since the start of COVID, really deep dived in self-care, but how to make it manageable. I am not a person that's going to just spend like 3 hours doing this ritual. That's just not me. It sounds wonderful. I'm not going to be able to do it every day. So how do we do it in a way that really supports us and, we really take care of ourselves, right? And the answer to that is different, small, doable little things, which I will share on in our self-care lesson tomorrow. So I went an hour and I thought I was going to go like 10 minutes. So I hope this was helpful. Yes, Krista. So tomorrow is all going to be about self-care. Wait, managing self-care and overwhelm through the holidays and all the chaos. Oh, you're talking like a course, like maybe a self-care program. I could see that. I would really love to teach something like that. So yeah. So what's everyone feeling like they need? I'm gonna most likely come out of coaching retirement a little for a little like debut, and then maybe go back into coaching retirement. But I'm feeling into what everyone feels like they need. Is it a deeper dive journey into self-care and healing your body without food restrictions and honoring and supporting yourself? Is it a deeper journey into weight loss without dieting? Is it a deeper journey into food freedom? Terry, thank you so much. Very helpful. It's an honor to hear you. Thank you guys. Honestly, yesterday I had so many tech issues that I was a little discouraged, but you all are just making me so happy I'm doing this series. Like, I couldn't see my comments yesterday. I didn't think anyone was here. There was just so much shit going on that I was like, no one came. I'm a little discouraged. I hope people are liking this program or this series. And so I just wanted to say, I have a good handle on my negative self-talk, but it still just will come up and get me every now and then. And maybe I was a little like nervous to come back out post not being live or do anything like this in a while. So I just want to say thank you to you all for being here and cheering me on. Can we watch these videos later if we can't make the live? Yeah, I'm actually posting the videos on my Instagram. They're going to be posted on, I think, everywhere on Facebook. I'm on a streaming platform that's streaming on my personal Facebook, our 2 Facebook groups, and our and our work Facebook. And then I'm on Instagram on this camera. That's why I keep turning my head. So it'll be posted all those places, and then I'll probably bundle it up into a little series and like a membership portal at some point. So awesome. I'm so happy you guys are loving this. I'm absolutely loving it. Absolutely loving it. Thank you for making my morning. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. You do have to be here live to qualify for the prizes, though. So if you want the prizes and the giveaways, show up live. The more you engage, the more it increases your chances of winning. So on that note, I am going to sign off. I'm so glad you guys appreciate it. Thank you for cheering me on. Bye, Facebook. Love you all. I'll see you tomorrow for some self-care. And